So in our travel, we've often done what we call bonus trips. So when we went to Hong Kong, we were traveling through Southeast Asia. We did Cambodia, we did Thailand, and then we found a miles and points deal for a business class flight back to Chicago from Hong Kong. So would we go back? I think not necessarily, but unfortunately we had to jump a turnstile. Probably not our smartest plan, but we jumped the turnstile and did that. Whenever you're in a city, you have to find those moments, and I think that was a moment for us.
Colombian food is very much underrated, but that's the conclusion at the end of the day. But breakfast was the first realization that, wow, they have some high quality ingredients.
But Jay's right, it's very much changing, and it was really very interesting and eye-opening to have a day with someone who was born and raised in Bogota.
We're J and B, and at the beginning of 2021, we hit the road permanently. We traded our city apartment for a constant stream of Airbnbs, new states, and places, and we wouldn't have it any other way. Come along with us as we explore all the U.S. and beyond has to offer, and join us as we continue
Living on the way.
Hello there, and welcome to the Living on the Way podcast, where we share our life of travel with you.
I'm Jay.
And I'm B.
We are on location today from Bogota, Colombia, so you will hear some background noise.
We're on a busy street here in Bogota, and we're only here for a couple days. So in our travel, we've often done what we call bonus trips. And these bonus trips are locations that are at the beginning or the end often of a longer trip. So this particular trip, we're on our way to Ecuador to go to the Galapagos Islands. And because a lot of the flights were connecting through Bogota, we decided to go ahead and extend our time here just to see if this is somewhere maybe in the future we might want to come back. And if we don't, how can we best explore it with the few days that we have? So like I said, we've done this several times, and today we're going to share some of that with you.
Yeah, we'll talk about a couple previous bonus trips that we've done when we stopped over in Paris and when we went to Hong Kong. And then, of course, walk you through what we've been up to here in Bogota.
The first bonus trip that comes to mind is our trip to Hong Kong. So when we went to Hong Kong, we were traveling through Southeast Asia. We did Cambodia, we did Thailand, and then we found a miles and points deal for a business class flight back to Chicago from Hong Kong. Since quick hopper flights were affordable we were in, I believe, Bangkok at the time. Is that correct?
I don't know if we flew out Bangkok or a city out of the southern Thailand area.
So we flew from there to Hong Kong and spent, I believe, 2 days there. So do you remember some of the things that we did?
Yeah, I remember we did several interesting things in that short period of time. Remember we took a tram up to the top of...
I believe it was called the Peak. And it looked over Hong Kong.
Yeah, a very nice view of the bay.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, we were there in early spring, so it was really foggy and a little chilly. But when the clouds and the fog parted, we did get to see the city very well. I think that was a great viewpoint.
Very impressive.
Had some hot cocoa. Rode the tramway was I think they call them funiculars, up the side of the mountain. So we did that, and then we took a ferry over to the main part of Hong Kong, and that's where we did a night market. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was interesting to explore things. We had eaten supper and then took the ferry over to the main part, like B said, and we just walked around exploring the little shops. Some of them sell more authentic homemade items, and of course several food items.
And then from there we decided, okay, so we had the viewpoint from one side. Let's go up to a rooftop.
Yeah, we decided to walk over there from the night market.
And I believe it was the Ritz-Carlton had a rooftop looking out over the city that we went over to. But again, it was a foggy day. So we had drinks at the top of the Ritz-Carlton. We did wait a few times. We could see the city through the fog. It cleared a little bit, just enough to see it, but it was right near the end. I feel like we did the city.
We got a small flavor of it.
Yeah, and I think we did a good job, though, of seeing the city. So would we go back? I think not necessarily. I think this bonus trip showed us that there was a lot to do in the city, but it didn't give us that itch to go back. But again, beautiful city, loved our time there, but if we fly through again, I'd go again but I would not go out of my way necessarily. But that's, again, why we do these bonus trips, to get, as Jay said, a taste of a new place. But it's definitely not on the top 100.
Another bonus trip we did was probably really the original bonus trip we did was when we were visiting England in London. We decided to tack on a short trip over to see Paris, France, a day trip.
Yeah, so we took the Channel. We took a train through the Channel over to Paris. It's a nice quick trip. We figured that was the first time we'd actually been to Europe. So we went to the UK, and Paris was our first kind of trip over to Europe.
Yeah, it was very interesting. The entertaining, just taking the high-speed train through the Channel was entertaining in and of itself. But then, of course, visiting Paris for part of a day, we hit some of the main touristy highlights, plus found a couple things that we enjoyed ourselves.
We spent the day just kind of hitting the, I would say, top touristy locations. So we went to the Louvre, and I want to back up here because it does have a lot to do with like our experience in Paris. And it was during a transportation strike. So that does have a lot to do with our experience in that the Louvre didn't open up right away. So we had to wait in a long line, hoping that it would open and give us enough time to see it, which it did. And we enjoyed that. I mean, we love going to see museums and seeing art. So that's one of the big things we did.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely worth a visit. It's very large and has very world-renowned artifacts. I was very impressed, of course, just as you read about it on the internet about it.
That's where the Mona Lisa is. She might be overrated, though.
Maybe so.
And then we decided to walk, because it was a beautiful fall day, to the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, and it's everything you read about, right? It's just, at least when we were there, covered with panhandlers and scammers.
Various people just doing whatever it is they do.
But you could definitely ignore all that. Just keep to yourself, take pictures. And then since there were options of going up the elevator or walking up, we decided, hey, it looks enjoyable. We're in good shape. Let's walk up the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, so we went up to the Eiffel Tower, and I would say I did enjoy it. I won't necessarily do the Eiffel Tower again, but I do think that it's iconic. You have to do it.
Oh, yeah, it's very beautiful, especially at night when it's lit up.
But by that time, when we came back down and we were headed to the next place, which was Notre Dame, I think Paris kind of wore on us a little bit. See, we are city people, and we've spent a lot of time in cities, but I don't know, I just think Paris was trying to do that much in a day was a little bit much.
Yeah, we try and push it pretty good.
But I mean, definitely,
we did walk over. Yeah, I mean,
this is before Uber, so we're walking, and we were trying to take the
strike. So
we tried to take the
transits.
metro because they said it was back up, but it didn't. It wasn't working.
Although we took a train, subway somewhere, didn't we?
We tried to take a subway. Remember, there were so many people packed down in the underground.
Oh.
Do you remember that? There's just people.
No, I didn't remember that.
Oh, it was awful. And we're really careful, right, to keep our belongings safe. But it was a nightmare. And then they said it wasn't running. Oh, that's what it was. We did take it.
We did take it.
So it was so busy, we decided we wanted to go to the other side of the track, ride it back one, get off, and then ride it up. So that's what we did. But unfortunately, we had to jump a turnstile. Probably not our smartest plan, but we jumped the turnstile and did that. So it was the one time we rode the metro.
It was definitely a hot mess. But
again,
just
that was
because of the transportation strike happening.
The strike was happening, and it was a busy weekend. So,
but we did get over to visit Notre Dame Cathedral, and we didn't have enough forethought to book the tickets ahead. So by the time we got there, the tickets to go up the staircase to go out and see their gargoyles was booked out for the day. So
we didn't know. So at the time, this is before the fire. And at the time, if you knew exactly when you were going to go, you could book it ahead of time. If you didn't know when you were going to be there, which we didn't because we were walking from place to place, we didn't know. So we didn't book it ahead of time. But at the time, it was supposed to have been easy to get tickets. But it was because of the strike and just mass amount of people being stuck in one place, it didn't work out.
But it was still enjoyable, and we had a chance to take a lovely stroll, walking around, seeing the gargoyles from the ground, zooming in with our camera, checking out the different faces. And we picked out our favorite ones, or the scariest ones.
Yeah, and I think it is a little bit of a regret after the fire not having been able to go up. But I think for the time we had one day, I think we did a lot. So I always have to tell myself that it was a really good experience. And so we did enjoy Notre Dame, even though the city was starting to wear on us. Near the end of our day, we had a little bit of a time. It wasn't too far to the train station back to London. What did we want to do that would set this trip up to be a good experience? And so, some way, and I'm not sure how we found it because
It was pre-Google Maps. You had it written out on note cards and stuff.
yeah, and I think just completely on coincidence, we found this quiet little street off of a bridge over by Notre Dame, and we got a crepe.
Yeah, it was a very calm street. Had classic Parisian feel. It had a couple cafes, and everything was much calmer than all these crazy tourist areas we just visited. And definitely gave a better feel for the city. And of course, we found some delicious crepes to try.
Yeah, so we took those crepes, sat on the wall, looking out at the Seine with the Notre Dame off to one side. It was like very beautiful views. And I think in that moment, it was just quiet. And whenever you're in a city, you have to find those moments. And I think that was a moment for us. And I looked around and realized that, yeah, the touristy things, like you said, were busy and they were hectic. And they're things you want to do because that's, whether it's because everyone wants to do them or they are good. A part of traveling is being worn out sometimes by touristy things. But I think in that moment, I realized that there's so much history in France and so much more interest to France. And I think in that moment, I don't know if that was the moment for you, but I knew that I wanted to go back to France and explore other parts of France.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We ended on a positive note, and it did really cement for us the fact that we need to put visiting France, other parts of France, maybe Paris again, but for sure other parts of France in the very near future.
Yes. And while we haven't been back to Paris since that time, we actually have been to the south of France.
Yeah, we started in Barcelona, which is Spain, then took a train over to Marseille.
Yes, Marseille, and then went from there to Cannes.
Then went from the Cannes, then Nice.
And then that was also the trip we went to Monte Carlo, but that's not
And
France.
Yeah, and it's a few of the other small little beachside towns. And really is an all-time favorite trip for us, and recommend to visit the south of France and really take the train alongside so you can get the feel for each of the towns along the way.
Yeah, and I think the bonus trip at that point, then the south of France. I don't know if we knew we were going to go to the south of France, but visiting more of France became probably top 10 after that trip.
Yeah, and it's because of the bonus trip. Again, we were there to visit England, UK. It's like, oh, short trip over there. We probably maxed ourselves out that day, but that was a great bonus trip because it really did lead to better plans, better ideas of what we want to do in the future.
Absolutely, and I think that's the beauty of the bonus trip. And that leads us to
Today, where we've been hanging out in Bogota, Colombia.
yeah, so this is a part of our bigger trip in South America. So we had booked a cruise in the Galapagos, and I was booking our flights from Miami and realizing that a good majority of those flights, including the ones that were on the more affordable side, stopped in Bogota. So I looked up what would it be to fly from Miami to Bogota, stay here for 1 to 2 days, and then fly to Quito so we could start our Galapagos leg, and realized it was just our hotel. And our hotel, I have an Amex Platinum card, and the hotel that we're staying in here is a part of the collection that I get $200 credit for. So in and of itself, it's just our flights. Yes, so we are here for 2 nights, 1 full day. And so today we just finished our full day. And what did we do today, Jay?
Well, it started off with a beautiful breakfast. Colombian food is very much underrated, but that's the conclusion at the end of the day. But breakfast was the first realization that, wow, they have some high quality ingredients, because it's one of those fruit, cheeses, meats, and combination into multiple different kinds of very good dishes.
And we had decided that with 1 day in Bogota, we wanted to enjoy as much of the city as we could. And also get a sense of culture in Colombia, because I think that's important too. We found that very important when we do these bonus trips, to get a feel of beyond maybe just the big city we're in. So I found a rent-a-friend that we did, and she came and she was our private tour guide for the day. She took us down to the older part of Bogota, and we started at a food market. So we started with breakfast, and then she took us to the market.
And as we learned today, it's a very biodiverse area, and they have almost year-round growing for many of these different fruits. And we purchased probably a dozen different fruits and vegetables just to try them. We ate them right there in the nice little patio area outside the market.
And we had someone knowledgeable about them, which I think is important. When you're not spending a lot of time somewhere, having someone that knows the area and knows the things that you're doing was so helpful, because she knew a lot about the fruits. She knew how to open them and cut them correctly. So she opened up the fruit for us and just answered our questions. So that's where we started, at the market. Got some chocolate there too, because they're known for chocolate growing. And that also opened up the conversation about the different regions in Colombia, and how Jay mentioned how biodiverse Colombia is, but also how much uniqueness there is in one particular country. So then from there, we got lunch. We had some local soup that they're known for. Had a really good experience there. Nice little restaurant.
And of course, had empanadas.
Empanadas, yes, empanadas. We learned the correct way to eat empanadas. And then from there, we went and did some historical. We walked through the cobblestone streets. We saw a few squares, including the Bolivar Square, which is the main square in Bogota.
We got a good history lesson looking around the square, how each of the 4 different sides had different era buildings and why they were created. It was very good to learn the history from indigenous times through colonial times, through modern times, and how Colombia really is changing fairly rapidly over the past few decades.
Yes. A lot of things I didn't know, because I think as Americans, we come in to places in Colombia thinking, oh, it's probably unsafe, or maybe we heard things from our parents about unrest and things like that. But Jay's right. It's very much changing. And it was really very interesting and eye-opening to have a day with someone who was born and raised in Bogota, knew a lot about Bogota. And so I don't think we would have, I know we would not have had the experience we did without Rent a Friend. And then from there, she took us back to our neighborhood where we're staying, which we're staying in an area called Zona T, or I guess it's also called Zona Rosa. And I think it had a third name, but those are the names I know it by. And she showed us around, like where the breweries were, where food was that we should stop at for the evening, and really gave us a good sense of what should we do next. So we're in between right now. We're right before dinner. We stopped at a brewery, and now the question is,
Would we come back?
would we come back?
I think the answer is a definite yes.
Yeah, I didn't know this much about Colombia.
The diversity here is remarkable. We learned about the fact that they have the Caribbean area, which is, the islandy feel. They also have a safari area with a variety of animals.
Which I did not know.
And then, of course, the mountainous area where we're at.
And the Amazon. They also,
and then
again,
the southern part is the Amazon. I mean, it was just remarkable to learn about the different areas to visit. And yes, we're definitely coming back. Definitely want to come back and do the safari.
Absolutely. I think for me, it's probably on the top 15 or 25, because I know that there's more in South America we want to do. And because this is a great place to stop over, I definitely see us coming back and doing more here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who doesn't want to come back and see a sloth or a mini-sized crocodile or many different birds? And what's that one animal you like, the little...
Oh, the capybaras.
Capybaras. I mean, that's all cool. I want to come back and see that at minimum.
It was a good bonus trip for us. First of all, if I don't ever come back and life doesn't lead me that way, I do believe that I feel that I did Bogota.
Yeah, we got at least one good bite of the apple.
Right. And so it was a great experience, but it definitely left me wanting more.
Absolutely.
And again, I think that was because we spent the day with a local.
That's highly recommended. If you're here for just a short period of time, hire a friend.
And tomorrow we wake up and we're headed to our next destination. But tonight we're going to get some supper and see what nightlife looks like here. So stay tuned, because hopefully on location on our cruise where we talk about the Galapagos Islands. But until then, we hope that you found something interesting about Bogota or opened your eyes like it did for us more about Colombia. Definitely ask any questions you have or comments about if you visited any other areas in Colombia. We are very interested to hear about that.
Like, follow, and subscribe.
And until next time, we will be
Living on the way.